Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to our Center Court Specialized Masters panel. What would an Emory Goizueta degree in business analytics or analytical finance do for your career? I'm your host, Christy Blyzeffer at Poets and Quants, and I'm thrilled to be joined today by two informative guests to talk about the value of a master's degree. Please feel free to use the Q&A function to submit any questions you have for our panelists, and I'll do my best to get to those at the end of the session. To start, I first want to welcome our guests, Danielle Fernandez, Associate Director of Goizueta's Graduate Career Management Center, and Santiago Suarez, a 2222 graduate of the program. Welcome to you both.
Thank you, Christy. Happy to be here.
Thank you both for joining us. And Danielle, we'll just start with you. Why don't you begin with a general introduction of the school, the program, the mission and values, reputation, location, all those general kinds of things.
Sure, happy to begin. So Christy, our mission at Emory Goizueta School of Business is really to prepare principal leaders to have a positive influence in business and society. Our location in Atlanta is fantastic. We are home to many Fortune 100, Fortune 20 companies, and just a diverse offering of job opportunities in Atlanta is great. It varies from, of course, tech and finance to pharma, healthcare, manufacturing. It just goes, on from there. And then our program, I think, is really what sets us apart, is that it's small by design and it's really intimate. And it allows sort of high touch experience for both our students, staff, and faculty. And I think that's what really sets us apart. When you have a small space, it allows you to the learning allows it to sort of infuse, and you also have a lot of opportunities for leadership in different clubs and organizations.
Yeah, we'll dive in a little bit more on the specifics of, the Masters in Business Analytics and Analytical Finance. Who are these programs suited for? What types of careers do they, tend to advance to? That kind of thing.
So the math program, we're in our second year. I should start with that. And it's a 10-month program for students who are interested in a career in finance. And this can really encompass anything from sales and trading, investment management, fintech, to IB, to investment banking. So it covers sort of just anything sort of under that big umbrella. I would say it's best suited for students who really want like an action-based learning, which involves sort of completing real-world finance and consultancy projects using data to solve like real-world and real-life problems. Some of the classes our students take is coding for financial insights, data visualizations for finance, investments in portfolios, and it sort of goes on from there. And then I'm also happy to add that our program does have STEM OPT for 3 years. So that is a part of the program. So we're very happy about that. So lots of students are interested or happy to know that that's a part of the program. And then in terms of like our employment and our, employment as well as offers is very high. We're in our second year. We're reporting our numbers in December, and we're very, very thrilled with those numbers of our students who had just graduated from our first inaugural class.
Very good. Well, thank you. Santiago, why don't you kind of introduce yourself a little bit more and tell us about your career progression?
Yeah, hi everyone. Again, very happy to be here. I'm Santiago Suarez. Originally from Mexico, I came to the US to play Division I tennis at Georgia Southern, where I got a supply chain management and logistics degree. Graduated 2020. I did my 1-year OPT in the supply chain industry. And while I was working in the supply chain industry, also this is 2020, so a lot of disruptions. But I realized how much data was being gathered, but not even being looked at, and how many problems could have been solved just by looking at the data. And it wasn't that people don't want to look at it. Like sometimes the size and the technical skills that you need to look at the data are just not there. So that led me to pursue a degree in a Master of Science in Business Analytics at Emory. I graduated in 2022. It was an amazing 10-month, very rigorous. I also played tennis for Emory. So I just made it more complicated for myself. And then post-graduation, I joined Truist as a data scientist. So it's been a little bit of a change from supply chain to finance, but data science or analytics is so broad that you can really be applied to anything.
Yeah. Did you look at, other degrees like an MBA, and other schools, and kind of what led you to this degree at Emory?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at my original plan was to do an MBA, but then I realized that I wanted to do something more technical and have those technical skills that would set me apart from, so many other candidates and kind of get more into the tech side of things. Also, like Danielle mentioned, this is a STEM master's degree. So for us internationals, we get 3 years of OPT instead of 1 year of OPT, like usual MBAs do. Plus, MBAs usually require 4 to 5 years of experience. And like I mentioned before, I only had 1 year of OPT, so it wasn't like
Yeah.
possible to do that. But in terms of analytics, I look at Emory, Georgia Tech, Duke, like those kind of were like mine. Georgia State, Mercer has a program as well. And I attended a couple sessions. I love what Danielle mentioned about being like small cohort, very specialized. I didn't really have any technical skills, so I was really, really wanted to make sure I get the most out of the program. And also, I love that it was only 10 months. Like I mentioned before, I was already working for a year. So like going back to school to make no money after you're making money, I was like, I'm okay with it just being 10 months and then I can have a salary again.
Yeah, very good. Well, what about the learning experience, Santiago? What were the tangible skills and maybe the intangible skills that you really took away that you feel that you're using now?
Yeah, and again, I came from a business background, so before the program started, I knew on the technical side close to zero. Like, no, I never used Python, R, SQL, Tableau, big data applications, like nothing technical. So my learning was pretty steep, and I wasn't only learning how to code, but also how to solve the assignments and how to be able to use it to create business insights. So those kind of like I can definitely say like tangible skills, like all the technical skills are actually learning to code to like analyze data. And intangibles, like the program is very intense, it's very diverse. You're always working with people, so you also learn how to work with people from different backgrounds, and also how to use your technical skills combine it with business knowledge and deliver that information to people that don't have the same technical understanding as you. But again, it's 10 months where you learn so much about new skills, but also so much about yourself. Like I said, data science is so broad, so you also kind of learn what areas of data science you like and you don't like, and what or where you want to pursue and make your next career move.
Got it.
Yeah.
And Santiago, just to clarify, you earned the Master of Science in Business Analytics, so the MSBA degree. Right. Yeah. And then my students do the Masters of Analytical Finance. So two separate master's programs that are both awesome, and just what students probably gravitate to whatever they're most interested in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Danielle, thanks for that clarification. But talk us to us a little bit about what's involved in the careers curriculum part of the program. Who are the coaches and experts, the subjects, and do you make available one-on-one coaching, mentoring, access to job?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we have a full professional development curriculum for our students in the MAF program. I am their dedicated career coach, and we also have a whole suite of career coaches in the Goizueta Graduate Career Center. So just to talk about our MAF students and how I interact mostly with them, beginning in onboarding, we are of course introduced, and then as they start their first sort of semester or module at the school, I'm in front of them in person, for professional development seminars that range from everything from about how to write an impactful Goizueta resume and cover letter, how to approach networking, telling your STAR story, right? Your situation, your task, your action, your result, and practicing that, and sort of curating your digital identity. We also offer, as I mentioned, one-on-one and group coaching and access to Emory Connects, which is our alumni networking site that we have available to our students. And then of course we have a whole employment relations team that works with recruiters and companies to talk to them about our wonderful students. Just some of the things our students have done, I guess this past 2 months, we had a wonderful visit to an investment management firm at BlackRock. Our students went last month. Our students just got back from a practicum visit in New York, where they were there for a week and visited about 8 different banks and firms. So that was really a great bonding experience, as well as sort of, again, real world action, just being in front of people. So that was fantastic for them. And the coaching is amazing at Goizueta. If I just talk about my background, I have been a career coach at NYU at Stern School of Business, at the law school. I joined Goizueta from McKinsey and Company, where I was professional development manager. So all of our coaches and the team have real world experience, as well as a very strong coaching background. And I think that all is infused with our students. And we're available in person and online. So that is always, I think, great, because our students sort of use us and reach out to us as they see fit. Some students prefer one-on-one in person, some students prefer a group, some students prefer virtual. So all options are available for our students. And it's also, remember, the Career Center is lifelong, right? So after you graduate, it doesn't end there. You have lifelong career services available to you with another team of career coaches that work with our working professionals.
Yeah, that's so valuable, that face-to-face time and the lifelong support.
Yeah.
Santiago, how did you engage with the career services, and how did it help prepare you for, an internship or the jobs that you eventually kind of landed?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I actually don't think I would have gotten my job without, the career services. And yeah, I mean, they make sure, because we have people for the MSBA coming from business background, people coming from technical background, and we gotta make sure that everybody's on the same page. And for example, like I probably did 100 interviews when I was trying to find my first job during COVID. Again, tough times. But everything is different when you come to data science or like more technical skills. Your resume looks different. The interviews are different. It's not only behavioral, it's also technical. You're like actually trying to doing live coding interviews where you're sharing your screen and you're like coding in front of people, which would never happen, before. But they make sure that that we have the tools, we have the coaching, they have everything you need to make sure you succeed. And we also had like mandatory events that we had to attend, which, I mean, I say mandatory because at the time you're so busy, you're like, oh, I need to go to this event. But I actually, this time I was lucky because the first job that I applied to is the one that I got. And I connected with tourists on campus at a career service event where I just happened to talk to people and, find my job. But how to prepare for the interviews, how to keep having your resume ready, updating it. And it's also, we work on setting a timeline because, like we said, it's only 10-month program. And the first semester you're learning so much, like so many new skills, so many like new things about yourself and what you want to do. So sometimes you don't want to start interviewing right away because the type of questions you're going to get, you haven't learned them yet. So you kind of create like a timeline of when you think you're going to be ready and start preparing for those interviews that are coming in later. So usually the fall is like, focus on learning the skills and knowing yourself, preparing your resume. And then the spring, you focus heavily on applying. Luckily for me, I applied for one job in the fall and I got it. So by spring was just, focus on keep learning and making sure I'm ready to do well at my job.
Yeah, well, that was great insight. That's a real insider kind of baseball. Thank you for that. So Daniel, what do you hear from employers and what they appreciate about the students from Emory and these programs?
Sure. I would say the two things we most often hear is our students and our graduates' resourcefulness and their initiative. They're problem solvers. I think that's the bottom line. They come in, they're problem solvers, they take initiative, they anticipate well. And I think people just really enjoy working with our students and our graduates, just likable, right? And that's a big part, I think, of the equation, along with sort of knowing your stuff and being forward thinking. So I would say we hear resourcefulness and initiative the most from our employers.
Yeah, very good. Santiago, what is the kind of, the most valued part of the experience for you at Emory, the things that you remember or had the greatest impact on your career so far?
Yeah, I would say the people first. It's cohort based. You're taking every single class with the same people. And, like I said, it's a very intense program. It's very intense. So it feels like everybody is going through the same thing together. So it creates that kind of sense of belonging. And you just really connect with people, not only during school, but also after school. And that connections you kind of stay, I think it's going to stay for the rest of my life, but only help to talk to about them, where they go in their career, but also kind of share what everyone's up to. And then at some point, eventually, it's always helpful to have these connections. And the second thing I would say, and it's not only with students, but also with professors, with deans. We actually had an alumni event last weekend, and it's just so nice to see everybody and just discuss, at this stage of my career, what I've been learning and where I want to go next and those kind of things. And I also have access to, career coach for life and everything. And second, I would say the skills. Like, I look back about all the things I learned during the MSBA and the things that I'm working on now, and I just come so far from what I knew nothing to doing the MSBA to been working for a year and a half. But that would have been possible without actually doing the MSBA program. So I'm just very glad I did it, and how it kind of like turned my life into a different direction.
Oh, very good. Well, do you have any advice for someone considering an MSBA or another specialized master's, and for Emory in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I would say do it. um, Obviously, consider that it's going to be intense. You're going to have to learn technical skills. You're going to have to work with other people. It's definitely a career change. So there's also a lot of things to consider. But if you actually end up deciding to do it, and you come from someone like me that didn't have a technical background, I would just say be patient. Like, at the beginning, it's gonna feel like it's a lot and you're gonna be overwhelmed, but at some point everything clicks, and then it just starts making sense, and you kind of start setting a baseline to keep moving forward. But I mean, if you ask me, I would definitely do it again if I had to make that decision all over again, if I go back in time or whatever. But yeah, I mean, obviously, pros and cons. Think about it. I would definitely advise to do it.
Yeah, very good. And Danielle, what about you? What advice for the prospective students in terms of aligning their passion, interests, and values with their career aspirations, and kind of finding the right program fit in that process?
I would really sum it up with just do your research on the curriculum and resources that each school offers. If interested in, of course, our program, definitely check out our website to learn more. And I think that's just where you start. Talk to a lot of people. That's what I would say.
Yeah. And if people are looking at a specialized master's at Emory's business school, just kind of tell us the next steps. What should they do next?
They should take a look at our website. It'll walk you step by step and everything to do from there. So visit Goizueta's business school website at Emory.
Yeah. Well, great. Thank you. Do we have a couple more minutes? Do any of you have any final thoughts or a story you want to share about your experience?
Yeah, I would also say, and I know Danielle mentioned it earlier, Emory does report like year by year salary, like each cohort. And that's, I think for me, that was huge. Because then you can kind of compare and see like the investment on where you are now, where you're going to be after the program, and what to look for. So yeah, that really, I remember when I was looking, it was like 100% placement after 3 years, and then a certain like salary, which was higher than what I was making. So that really helped me with the decision.
Yeah, always that ROI, right?
Yeah, I mean, you want to
for-
make money, right? That's why at
that's,
the end of the day, why we're all
that's
going
right.
through these programs.
Yeah. Danielle, any last thoughts?
No, I would definitely, that goes back again to doing your research, right? And every school will post on their career website sort of what the salary is, what the employment rate is, the alumni connections, and all of that. So that's definitely part of the research that our students should be doing.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for your times and these great insights into this Emory in particular. It's always great to talk to people that can kind of explain what makes a school special. So I appreciate that from both of you. And thanks to all our listeners out there. Remember that you can find other discussions on other degrees and other schools from around the world on our YouTube channel. Hopefully you'll be tuning into some more of our specialized master's discussions through the week. And until next time, thank you very much.
Thank you.